Probably online. Yeah, Oakland Mall used to be good until it wasn't. Okay, let's look at the other boring draw. Nepo versus Giri. They played a Sveshnikov. All right. And in the match last time, Caruana was playing this a lot. Nepomniachtchi played the more common move. All right. And this is one of the main lines. There's a lot of main lines. This is one of them. So black has 2 bishops. That's good. Black's developed almost everything. That's good. And what's good for white is this pawn's very backward and weak. You can ask Farnsley. Farnsley, that's a textbook backward pawn. If you wanted to show a backward pawn position as a textbook, this is it. And this knight's, bigger than Jesus. So white has some big advantages and black has some big advantages. Black's going to try to push on the queen side or play f5, and white's going to try to bind him, make sure that he can't move. And then this knight can't go here. That's why c3. This knight, you can back up that knight if it gets attacked, for example. So both sides have advantages. The engines think it's about equal. And again, this is the kind of game where you assume somebody might win because it's not like a Berlin, it's, exciting. There's different advantages for both sides. Okay, he played a5 to play b4. And then he played, and this is all prep, obviously. The other reason to play a5 is after this move, you can't go here. I mean, you could, but it's probably not good. Okay, and then he backed up his other knight. And then he took, so he could get rid of the knight on d5. Great. So black got rid of his 2 bishops, but he also excavated the knight from d5, and he still has b4 and f5 in the air. Rook d1, attacking the weak d pawn, defending it, put it in h, always put it in h. White wants these bishops just to magically disappear from the board, so he has better control of d5 and f5. And black wants to keep that bishop there. And preferably, if white takes, he takes with the pawn defends the weak squares, and the rook gets an open file. So he played bishop b3 attacking the rook. Queen c7, so his other rook can get out. Castles, other rook got out. Yeah. And Magnus was very confused, as were a lot of other people, that either player would want to draw, but especially Nepomniachtchi, because he's in first place. So he needs to, and Nepo plays a lot of wild and crazy chess. And here they did a grandmaster repetition, which everybody thought was nuts. Magnus liked white's position, so he thought white can sort of safely play for a win, because this pawn is permanently weak, and black doesn't have a lot of counterplay. The engine says white's a little bit better, but in this tournament, you shouldn't be taking draws. You got to win. This position, he could win. He could lose, he could draw. It's not determined yet. So you can argue Anish is black, and maybe he's slightly worse, so a draw is okay. Win with white, draw with black. Okay, maybe. But Nepomniachtchi is white, and he needs to win games to win the tournament. So this was like an embarrassment here. What happened? Bishop d1, bishop e6, always repeat. Okay. And, I mean, black doesn't want to trade the white squared bishops, because then white's going to dominate. And, white could just not play bishop d1, bishop g4, and just play another way and try to win, but he didn't do it. So most people who were upset about the repetition were mainly upset at Jan, not at Anish, because he's a tiny bit worse and he has the black pieces. So, maybe he was hungry. Yeah, one of my students told me that once. I said, why did you resign? And they said, I was hungry. And he wasn't kidding. He wanted to go eat. So he resigned. Yeah, that's the game. I showed the boring games first. The first game may have been prearranged. It may have been white that one player knew all the way to the end and the other player was close. So there wasn't a lot going on in the other game that I showed because it was sort of drawn out of theory and so forth. Yeah. You try to win by not repeating. You could move your queen off of d3, so your rook has the file. You could play king g2, because I don't like my king on the back rank. Also, after bishop d1, bishop e6, you could play a move that's not bishop g4 and hope that you could triple on the d file. Yeah, when the engine's playing white, it plays sort of silly. It's not giving white, a lot of, big chances. Another way to play is to play bishop f3, so you can play knight here or knight here and try to get your bishop open. And the thing is, it's not clear what black should do. Should black play b4 ever, or should he just wait and hope he doesn't lose? I don't really see a good plan for black other than b4, and b4 might be a bad move. I don't know. Because I could take it and play c4 and your bishop's trapped and I have, So it's very hard for either side to do anything, but it's not like a drawn position. You just play and maybe in 40, 50 moves you win. And again, I want to stress, for this event, you don't want to do this. You have to win the tournament. That's the only thing you want to do is win the tournament. That's it. No draws. Win the tournament. That's what you have to do. If you win the tournament, you might be the world champion and you might make millions. If you don't win the tournament, you got nothing. You're the gawking rabble. Terrible. I've never been so mad. Did the second train happen yet? I've never been so furious. That second